been flowing. Cold and solid land. Oh, I have my need.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Another Bourbon Show. Excited to be here tonight. Before we get started talking about tonight's whiskey, tonight's bourbon, I actually want to fill folks in on something. So a few weeks ago, by the time you're listening to this, we recorded an episode of Eagle Rare, and we joked throughout about which celebrities we could beat the shit out of, and Steven thinks he can beat up. Who was it that you think you can beat up?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. The
Someone
big one
popular.
though was Ryan thinks that he can beat the shit out of Steven Seagal, which I still think is bullshit. And I'm in the middle of trying to get Steven Seagal to read some tweets about Ryan thinking he can beat the shit out of him, because I want Steven to come. I'm sorry, Steven Seagal to come from Russia, show up in Chicago, and just beat the shit out of Ryan in his mom's front yard. I think that would be fucking hilarious. But more importantly, we joked around during that episode about trying to get Dustin Diamond, Screech from Saved by the Bell, on the show. And that night, I completely forgot about it, mostly because I drank a quarter of a bottle of Eagle Rare that night. But I was reminded whenever we released that episode, and I want to give an update. We have started a GoFundMe to try to make that happen, and I have acquired Dustin Diamond's personal cell phone number. I have it saved in my phone now. I have not had a chance to give him a call or to text him to try to make this happen, but it's in the works, and we're gonna see if we can do that. So yeah, there's going to be a gap between when we first mentioned it and today, but we'll update you next episode and see how that's coming along. I hope we can get them. Tonight we are going to be drinking this one right here. This one is a beautiful bottle, in my opinion. Steven is probably going to shit all over it here in just a second. But we're going to be drinking some Legent. Legent is a really, really, really neat whiskey. It's a combined effort between Fred No, the master distiller for Jim Beam, and I'm gonna mess up his name, Shinji Fukuyo, who is the master blender for Suntory over in Japan. It's got a mash bill, 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. What they do is they distill bourbon for at least 4 years. And then some of that bourbon goes in after it's been in oak casks. It then goes into a sherry cask. Some of it goes into red wine casks. And then they blend it together, which is where Shinji's masterpiece comes together. And together, they bottle it, and damn good shit. So Steven, what do you think of that label? First of all, before you say anything, this right up here, that's Fred No. Down here, that is Shinji. And on the top, I know you don't rate the top, but on the top, you can see it's got Kentucky, Japan. All right, showing the work that the two do together.
Wow, I never noticed that before, with the faces on there.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah, it's
not
pretty cool.
notice the faces either. So I don't hate the bottle, first of all, but I think that whenever I've seen it in stores, depending on the angle that you're looking at, if this is a full bottle, you can't really see the black paint that comes down, and you can't really make out the silhouettes. Like, I didn't even know they were silhouettes, but it's also just hard to see that the black against the dark brown as a whole when it's on the shelf.
Okay.
So I think that kind of sucks. I like how simple the bottle is overall, though, and I really like the font on Legent because I haven't seen that font very often used, and I like the L up top and whatnot. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. This one's above average to me.
Okay.
If they used a different color I really think it's cool that they did like the side profiles in a minimalist pattern. That like you just pointed out. I just wish they would have done that stripe in a different color other than black, just because it's a little hard to read with
Okay.
the brown background.
Okay.
Maybe outline it in white or something,
I think
at
that's
least
a fair
something.
critique. I think that's a fair critique. Yeah, so suggested retail price on Legent is what is it? It's $39.99 is the suggested retail price. I picked mine up for $38.49 at Dean's Liquor in Collinsville, Illinois. It is not terribly unusual for things to be under SRP at Dean's, depending on what it is, obviously. But yeah, so I picked it up for $38.49 at Dean's in Collinsville. Steven got his from me. I got him a little tester vial. What about you, Ryan? Do you remember where you picked yours up?
I got this bottle. It was over a year ago at least. And it kind of fell behind everything else back there, and I forgot about it. It might have been 2 years ago, and it was in between 35 and 40. For some reason, 36 or 37.99 stands out.
Okay.
So I think it could have been on for sale that week. Something else about the bottle too. The top of it. I just love that design. It just when you pour the whiskey out of the bottle,
it doesn't go glug 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 glug.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's just the rounded top right there is really interesting.
Ryan, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but can you read that?
Oh yeah, 2 legends, 1 bourbon.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I again, you can give it a 6 out of 10, Steven. I don't give a shit what you say anymore. You're too harsh on these fuckers and their labels. I think it's really cool, like all of the efforts that the marketing companies did to really like show the work that the two are doing together. And it's especially cool to me because like Suntory and Jim Beam, they're not part of the same parent company, right? Like it's truly just two top of their game people worldwide in the whiskey business just deciding that they want to do something together. And I think that's super cool. And it's also important to note that in the United States, we make a big deal out of our master distillers, right? Like Fred No, like he's as big as it gets. Harlan Wheatley, Buffalo Trace master distiller. Like when we think of who's important at a distillery, we always think of the master distiller. In Japan, that's not so much because they do a lot more blending over there. And so Suntory has a master distiller, but in the hierarchy of importance in Japan, the master blender is way more important than the master distiller. So it's a huge big deal for these two to be working together. Legent, I already gave the mash bill. It's aged at least 4 years and it is 94 proof. So mid upper proof range, I guess. Yeah. Do we want to give it a sip?
Yeah, let's do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
I think it's got a beautiful color too, by the way.
Yeah.
Definitely does. That's some good shit.
Yeah. So damn smooth. And like, so on the nose, I get a lot of like wine.
Yeah.
I get a lot of wine scent to it.
I was going to say raspberry.
Raspberry. Okay. I can see that. But like, it doesn't have like, I don't get any like alcohol burn from the nose. Like I get a hint, like I know I'm sniffing alcohol, but it doesn't burn at all. It's like a very sweet smell to me personally.
Yeah.
And so many Jim Beam products, I taste a lot of peanut in their whiskey. I get no peanut in this at all, like none.
See, I do. I do get peanut.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I was gonna say my first reaction after I tasted it, I was like, oh, this is again on the nuttier side
Mhm.
of whiskeys, and that way it reminded me a little bit of like a cross between like Old Elk
Mhm.
and Eagle Rare. Was like the two that I sort of immediately thought of.
Okay.
I get a little brown sugar and almonds. That's what I taste.
I don't get so much almonds. I get like almost like, okay, so you know when you're drinking a Coke and you get like a bubble burn on your tongue, like that. I don't know. Sometimes I'll take a drink and I don't know why, but I just get like a sharp, like a burn on my tongue from a Coca-Cola. I get that same type of a flavor from this, like a sweet. I don't know how to explain it, but
It's a weird. The sherry cask, it almost tastes different every time you drink it. You know, like
Mhm.
you taste a different note of something, whether it's the red wine cask or the sherry. It's smooth though. I mean, I like it.
super
I think it
smooth.
yeah,
I
pairs
it's
well in
got a very
cocktails.
like, to me, it's got like a very dry finish, like a sherry dryness on my tongue. I don't get, so like a lot of people talk about like they get caramel from Legent, and I don't get caramel at all. I get like a raisin, so like a mild sweetness with like a little bit of a bitterness to it, but like a pleasant bitter taste to it. That's what I get on the
Yeah,
from the actual taste.
it's definitely the most interesting bourbon I think we've drank. Just from how it's made from that standpoint.
I would
It
I would say uniqueness, right?
yeah
Like
yeah
it's
yeah.
got
It's
a
a better
very
word.
unique flavor to it, to me. I want to hear what you think of it, Steven. Is this your first time trying it?
Yes, this is my
Okay.
first time trying it.
Okay.
And I really wish I had. So this is the first time I've had a whiskey that was finished in sherry or a wine casting. Like I wish I had Eagle or Angel's Envy
Mhm.
before, so I could kind of compare the two, because I've been curious about what that tastes like. So I guess I'd be curious, how do you feel that this compares to Angel's Envy from a flavor profile?
I mean, from like the standard Angel's Envy port finish.
Yeah, am I way off? Is it like is it nothing close?
No, I think that it. Okay, so Angel's Envy is not anything that I currently have in stock. It is I mean, Angel's Envy is really, really, really good stuff. Like really good stuff. I've never had a single pour of anything in Angel's Envy and thought, oh, that's not worth the asking price, right? Like no matter if it's an $80 bottle or a $40 bottle of their entry level, it's always worth the price. But I can't say that I find them very comparable. Like just because they're both finished in like wine casks, I don't feel like they're that similar, except for that dry finish on the tongue. That's about the only comparison I personally can see in them.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious how close it would be, because, like I said, this is the first time I've had anything like this, and I really like it.
Mhm.
I think it's a very for the price point. I think this is an extremely complex whiskey.
Oh yeah.
There's so many
I
different
will say
flavors
it
to it.
miles better than Angel's Envy. Miles.
You think so?
Yeah, but I have different circumstances for saying that. So
Oh, okay. Oh, I think I know where this is coming from.
I won't
Okay.
say much. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you get
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Ryan
I
just
think
doesn't want to get another call from his boss's boss. That's really what this is coming down to.
I
I
think
love this in like old fashioned or Manhattan though, man. This
You that was something that I was hoping we were going to get to later on. Like this is one of the perfect mixer bourbons. It adds a flavor to a Manhattan or an old fashioned. I've never tried it in a whiskey sour, and I don't think I ever would. Like, because there's so many other bourbons that are really great for a whiskey sour, and this doesn't have any of the profiles that I think would be good in a whiskey sour. But man, Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. Like, for either of those two mixed drinks, if you've got this around, do it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. And I will recommend, though, if you make a Manhattan or an old fashioned with Legent, don't add ice. Chill this and put it in your drink and leave the ice out of it. You don't want to dilute the flavor that this is going to give to that mixed drink. That's a fucking order, sons of bitches.
Steven, I could see you drinking these all day, man.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, I got to get a bottle and try an old fashioned. I think this is great. And like I was going to say, I think this is maybe one of the more complex whiskeys we've ever had on the show. And we've had some heavy hitters on the show. So for this price point to be around like $38, I think that's insane. If you told me that this was, I feel like this should go up in the price range with like Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, somewhere around there. So yeah, this seems like a steal.
You know,
if you're gonna make a little orange bitters right there, pairs really well with it.
You prefer orange bitters or
with the Legent? Just
Okay.
with the Legent, I really dig.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, see, my go-to bitters are aromatic. That's what I normally have on hand. But again, that's because I don't very often make your standard old fashioned, just plain simple syrup with bourbon and bitters. I normally, if I'm going to make a old fashioned, I normally.
Have you seen Fee Brothers before or no?
I haven't.
No, it's a brand I distribute actually, but I mean they have cherry, peach. Their regular one's really good. I got it somewhere here, but yeah, they're known for their flavored bitters, so they do a good job.
Okay.
I don't know if they have a blueberry one. I'll look it up for you.
I probably wouldn't even want to use blueberry bitters. Like, that would just be too much blueberry. Like, what I like so much about the blueberry is specifically with the E.H. Taylor is the combination of the vanilla from the bourbon with the bourbon or with the blueberries from the syrup. And then I go with some aromatic bitters. It just complements it really well. There was something I was going to say, Steven. Ryan, you might know this better. This is you handle this?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Funny story about it though. Like 2 years ago, a buddy of my dad's who lived part-time in Louisville at the time, this was being talked about as like the next Blantons.
Yeah.
People were buying up cases. It was going nuts. My dad's friend was like, "Can you give me 6 bottles of it? We need it." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get it." You know, it seems like it's going to be a Blanton someday. That's pretty cool. It hasn't panned out that way from what I've seen, but it doesn't mean it's not good.
Well, so the reason I was going to ask and thought maybe you would know this better than me was I feel like there was a solid 4, maybe 5 months where I didn't see it on the shelf anywhere. And then suddenly it popped up and I've seen it pretty consistently since then. I was wondering if this is something that isn't necessarily like they do like 2 releases per year, and once it's gone, and then you got to wait until the next release for the next batch a few months later or whatever. And I didn't know if that's the case with this or if maybe I was just looking at.
Yeah, I can't speak to it that much, but I know when it first came out, it was really popular and hard to get. And then whatever happened with it, I think just kind of, I mean, maybe they upped their production on it and you just see it more commonly now. But do they have any other lined items with this brand or is it just this one? No,
that's the only one. I mean, it's a Jim Beam product. So it, I mean, it technically does. Well, yeah. I don't know how to explain it. So it comes out of a Jim Beam distillery. I don't know if
Claremont,
Legent
Kentucky.
I don't know if Legent is its own company, but no, it can't be its own.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It can't
Well, I
be.
know Suntory bought Jim Beam, I believe, or they merged like 5 years ago.
Oh,
That's what happened. I was going to correct you, but I was like, I don't know. It might have been their idea to do that after they partnered. Like, I don't know if that was in the works beforehand.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Suntory bought Beam, and then
Okay.
a couple years later, like 2 years later after that, or dates probably aren't 100% right, but Legent came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think this was kind of like a meeting of the minds as soon as the companies came up. But
Mhm.
I don't really see much. Like, Suntory's pretty hard to get, but from a branding perspective, it's all Jim Beam in America, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does seem like maybe, like you said, there's two different minds. Maybe they, let each other do their own thing, but are still under the same umbrella.
Yeah. Well, I know,
Yeah.
like if you go to like the Jim Beam website, for example, you're not going to see anything about Legent. If you want to look up anything about Legent, you go to the Legent website, and they don't talk about any Jim Beam products. They don't talk about any Suntory products. It's that website is strictly about Legent. So yeah, I don't know those finer details about it. I just know that it is such good whiskey, bourbon.
And no one talks about it.
No, no.
And not to, I'm not, because I don't distribute. I'm not. It's one of my. It's delicious. Like,
Yeah.
I think it should be more in the public eye than what it is, and hopefully one day it will get. I mean, like Steven said, what, $39, and
Yep.
he thinks it's like a Woodford Double Oaked. I mean, it speaks to the brainchild of it.
Yeah. There's a couple whiskeys, bourbons that I always think to myself, I don't understand. Like, okay, there's lots of them that have blown up and are ridiculously hard to get, and I don't understand why they are. And then there's other ones like Legent and Russell's Reserve that I'm just like, why hasn't this blown up? Because like this Russell's Reserve, a bunch of other ones that I'm not going to name, I'll name them whenever we get to those types of shows. But yeah, I don't get for the life of me why this isn't more sought after. And same way with Russell's Reserve. But again, maybe it has to do with supply versus demand. I don't have access to that. I don't know how many barrels of this they come out with.
I mean, it's also where it is on the shelf, in a lot of my accounts, it's on the top shelf of every account, and people will be going in looking for Blantons, but Bakers, I think that's one of them. Bookers. That's something that's harder to get.
Yeah.
So they go to the top shelf and they're looking for things that aren't at the store.
Yeah.
And you'll see Legent on there. And I mean, just pure like schematic store wise, everything's in a certain place for a reason. All the Beam products are grouped around Beam products. All the Jack Daniels, Brown-Forman products are typically by each other. So, if this is placed on a top shelf around $40, a lot of people just aren't going to see it and look up, and not, I don't think it deserves a price decrease at all, but it's little things like making it from one facing to two facing. And that goes to a supplier, paying a store or doing whatever they have to do, paying that chain for more recognition on the shelf. So little things like that can increase demand. Woodford had this problem. It was on the top shelf, one facing for a long time. Then it just blew up, and a big competitor, well, not competitor, but they would always compare it to Bullet Bourbon, just price range. And Bullet was always on a better shelf, and it was always two facings or more. And Woodford was always, the one bourbon, the one rye, double oaked. But you expand it to two facings and bring it a shelf down. It's crazy what it can do to a brand.
Yeah.
Something small like that.
Or increase the price by $20, make the bottle more interesting shape, and now you're in business.
Yeah.
And hire Instagram influencers like us to talk it up.
We're not even. Hey, Ryan, we're not even on Instagram, by the way.
Oh, well, we
He's
should be.
contributing.
You mentioned Booker's a minute ago, and Baker's, as a matter of fact. Ryan, do you like Booker's or Baker's?
I've never had either of them.
You haven't.
No, and they're both they're with our competitor, which I mean that has something to do with it, obviously.
Well,
but
I mean, if Legent is with your competitor, then obviously Baker's and Booker's is going to be
yeah.
because they're all.
But
gym,
I mean, I know
they're all being products.
Booker's is like, what is it, like $80 on the shelf, something like that. So it's just, and it's never on the shelf. So
yeah,
which is funny because a few years ago it would be in that box and it was dusty as hell, and now you can't find it.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a bottle of. So Baker's underwent a change recently. They're now single barrel and barrel proof. Is that right?
I think I've heard something about that. Like people.
It's now single barrel. It didn't used to be single barrel, but it is single barrel now.
Yeah.
That I'm certain of. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, I know, I think they lost some fans because of that change, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
and they changed. They completely changed the bottle design as well. Steven, there you go. As you yawn. But no, I like Baker's. I like Booker's.
This is what I do every day, Steve. All right, sorry it's not Wi-Fi passwords. You know.
Hey man, I just work here. Okay.
But yeah, so my thing with Baker's and Booker's, both of them, they're both really good, but really strong peanut flavor, like really strong peanuts. And I'm only in the mood for that type of a bourbon every once in a while, right? Like that's not my go-to flavor profile that I'm hoping for. Every now and then, yes, that's what I'm in the mood for. But
you ever do a blend of some whiskeys that you've got on the shelf?
I have not. I'm not the infinity barrel guy. I don't do that. I'm not. You will never ever see me do a bottle kill picture which I think is just so goddamn stupid, where you take the empty bottle and you turn it on its side. Oh no, when I'm done with the bottle, I fucking throw it in the recycling bin. And I'm not going to ever do an infinity barrel. If I've got this much left in a bottle and I've got a replacement for it because I love it, it goes in, and then I add some more from the new bottle. If it's a bottle that I never want again, then I'm just going to finish it off, down the hatch, throw it in the goddamn recycling bin. I have considered, specifically recently, getting one of those 2-liter aging barrels, but only because I'm participating in these December Advent calendar events where you get together with 24 other guys. You each buy one bottle of bourbon. You pour 25 1-ounce bottles, 1-ounce samples, and then you exchange it. And every day we all drink the one that's listed as number 1. Then we drink the number 1 on December 2nd. We drink the one listed number 2. And I was thinking about like participating in that, but then just not actually participating in the day by day. Just dump all of them into that aging barrel, let it sit for 25 days, and then see what it tastes like when it's all mixed together. But I decided not to do that.
You know, it's funny, those little barrels. I was down in Texas a little while ago, and I'm buddies with a guy who's a chiropractor, and he's a big bourbon drinker. The dude's, I mean, you should see his whiskey collection. It's nuts.
I'd love to.
We'll go down there sometime.
What part of Texas?
He's a pilot too. It's right outside of Dallas. It's in McKinney. But he's like, yeah, I had a patient of mine who quit his job and then just bought a huge garage and made these small barrels and sold them. He's like, he's a millionaire now. It's nuts. I'm like, dude, you should have partnered with him.
Yeah.
But Who would have saw that coming though?
Right? Yeah.
15 years ago?
Do either of you guys do an infinity barrel or
No.
mixing or anything?
No, but I was curious if you did, just based on the comment about like Booker's and whatnot, and if it being like a strong peanut flavor. It feels like you could pick out something like a Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, for instance, have a little bit of that with it, maybe like a 60-40 mashup, and then just in a glass, even if you don't do like a whole, like, decanter of it or something. And
Yeah.
then maybe that would be some sort of cool, like, chocolatey, nutty whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I never have. In a few weeks when we've got JT coming on the show, we're going to be drinking Weller Antique 107 with him. One of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that we drank 107 with JT is that he's got a really, it's not like this is some fucking secret or anything. But there is poor man's Pappy, right? So, Pappy Van Winkle, holy shit, hard to get, holy shit, delicious, amazing, great stuff. He's got a pretty good recipe for taking Weller Green Label and Weller 107 and mixing them, aging them for a specific amount of time, and in one of those little barrels, and then pouring it, and it tasting like almost identical to Pappy Van Winkle. But no, Stephen, you might be onto something like that. That might be a really good combination there.
I know it. I've never had Booker's, but I'm pretty sure I nailed it.
I mean, do you really want to mix like an $80 bottle with something else though?
No, I mean, I don't. If you've already got the fucking bottle, you do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's
Good
your
answer.
bottle, man.
Good answer, Stephen. Good answer.
I feel like a lot of the people who can get an $80 bottle as well, like it's not a big deal for them to have the $80 bottle. Like you're going to get another $80 bottle next week, or something. Like if you're able to get a bottle of Booker's, you can get stuff. You know what I mean?
So Booker's is one of those. It's so weird. There are places where I've walked into liquor stores. So on the website, like one of the things I do is I review liquor stores to figure out like, okay, what's their selection? Are they overpriced? Do they have fair prices? Just to try to help people go to respected businesses. And it's been so weird because there are some liquor stores that I walk into and they will have a bottle of Eagle Rare up on a top shelf, dusty as shit, for $75. No joke. Right next to it will be a bottle of E.H. Taylor small batch, $90. Just like absurdly overpriced. And then right next to the E.H. Taylor will be a bottle of Booker's for $70. And I'm like, what is going on here? And like some of those bottles are like a 2018 bottle of Booker's, like that's been sitting there for 2 years, and people just ignore it because it's up there and they think, well, it's got to be overpriced. But no, that's a really great price. Booker's is just, it's weird that some places it gets zero respect. In other places, it's off the shelf the minute it touches it.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that firsthand too. I mean, I used to see it more than I do now, but yeah, some bottles you'll just find caked in dust, and that with the little like plastic glass
slide
screen,
up,
it's just like caked in old dust and people's fingerprints.
Yep. And there's places like that I've walked in, and it's like, actually, Ryan, let me ask you this. On a liquor shelf, what is the worst location for a liquor to be in? Because I've seen Booker's bottom shelf end. And to me, that's like the worst spot. I would think that that's the worst spot for liquor to be.
The two worst shelves are going to be all the way to the bottom shelf, and then the top shelf. You get most of your play like in the middle shelf, or the two middle shelves, or the three middle shelves. If you're in a corner, especially in a big department where you got 36 feet or whatever of just bourbon, if you're all the way, I mean, if you're Booker's and you're that expensive on the bottom shelf, people just aren't going to see you. But that's kind of like an FU to the brand as far as I'm concerned. But like if you're Legent and you're the top right corner away from all your bean products or something, that's the one of the worst spots you'll be in for that price. But the bottom shelf gets a lot of play, but that's just because there's a lot of bottom shelf drinkers out there. There's a lot more. So I personally think top shelf in one of the corners of the store is probably the worst place you could be.
Okay.
Okay.
So for an $80 bottle to be bottom shelf on an end, that's just them kind of saying, fuck you, Bookers.
It's not that. It also could just be a store owner being like, look, my shelves are jammed. You got to find some place. And sometimes it's the bottom shelf, but sometimes you'll get like a different sales rep, see his place got switched out from a different rep. You're like, all right, I'm just going to take that and put it wherever the hell I feel like it. So you'll see that. You'll see that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that going on, and ripping tags off shelves, little shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog eat dog world.
Oh, it is.
Fucking coming at each other with baseball bats with barbed wire wrapped around them.
Box cutters. Oh yeah.
We need some sort of like bourbon aisle watchers, some sort of like partisan people who can just stand there and make sure that there's no shenanigans in the bourbon aisle. Recount in the bourbon aisle.
Yeah, this day and age, what we really need is more partisanship. That's really
not in this country.
What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Well, we sort of ended last show with kind of a sign off and sort of a worry to the future, just like I hope we'll see you on the other side.
Here we are.
We made it through so far.
So if this makes it to being released, then things are looking good, because that's a month from now. So yeah.
We're still in the process where we're taking it day by day at this point. This is a developing story.
It is. Well, so we've been drinking Legent tonight. Been loving it, enjoying every sip. I just poured another glass because that's what I do. Why don't we go ahead and start giving it our overall ratings? I'll go ahead and start, unless somebody else wants to.
No, that's fine.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So I'm like, I can't say enough positive things about it. I'm gonna give it a 7.8. That might be the highest I've given. I don't know. And I might drink it next week and give it a 7.2. I don't claim to be consistent, but I've explained that I don't care about being consistent, because bourbon is all about who you're drinking it with and the atmosphere and the mood you're in. And tonight I'm giving this a 7.8, and that's my final verdict.
I guess I'll go. I really, this bourbon's weird, because every time I have the first sip of it, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, it's weird. And I keep drinking it, and I like it more and more, because I just burped. I'm going to go a solid 8.1.
Damn.
It's good. I'm going 8s. This is an 8.
Damn. Yeah. Is that your highest ever?
No, I think I gave, Woodford Double Oaked, I gave an 8.5.
Wow.
I
okay.
think. Yeah. That was kind of like a 2-day bender, though. So I was.
Dude, yeah. No, I remember. We were fucking hungover.
Yeah, it was
We
bad.
didn't get COVID. Miraculously.
Did you guys get tested?
COVID. What?
Did you guys get tested?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tested myself.
Oh, okay.
I did a piss test.
Gotcha.
All right.
8.2.
8.2?
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think this is definitely, this punches up way above its weight class. and I can
Oh,
get
yeah.
through a bottle of this quick.
Yeah.
This is very good stuff.
You're probably going to buy one tomorrow, I imagine.
Very soon, I'll buy one of these. Yeah, for sure. This was such good whiskey. I did not expect it at all. I
Yeah.
was not. It came out of nowhere for me. When we were talking about upcoming episodes and whatnot, I was like, okay, Legion, I've seen that on the shelf and whatnot. I forgot like what episode we were doing tonight at first. I was not like super anticipating this at all, like I am a few of the upcoming ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was definitely one of my favorites so far. This was right up there. I can't believe the price point.
Yeah.
Very good whiskey.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Steven, I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed it so much. Now, it doesn't surprise me. Like with the Smoke Wagon episode way, way back, God, 9 episodes ago at this point, if you remember, that was one that before we got started, I was like, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about it. This was one that I was like, oh, they're going to like it. Steven's going to like it because I already knew Ryan liked it. I was really confident you were going to like it right away, Steven. But that Smoke Wagon, I'm so happy you guys liked it as much as you did. But this
Still
one,
looking for a bottle.
God damn, Steven. I told you, man, it's the karma. Like,
yeah, I gotta
it's
start.
karma for you rating that label so poorly. That's
This is gonna be my fucking end, dude. They're gonna put on my tombstone, just like shouldn't have fucked us with the labels.
You know what I'm gonna do when you die, like a month and a half from now.
Yeah.
I am going to take an entire bottle, a full bottle of Smoke Wagon Small Batch, and I'm gonna pour it out on your grave for you. You know why? Because I can get a bottle of Smoke Wagon Full Batch just to pour in your fucking grave.
Then you're done with your cigarette, and you just flick it on his grave.
So fake my own death, and then I can.
Another brother showing